Yay Media Group.
Well, I guess it was in the last year of the Wonder Years, somebody referred to me on set as America's sweetheart. And I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And it was really like, I didn't realize that I was sort of a virtual like girlfriend or something for a lot of
You were the first crush, right?
Everybody's first crush.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Hey dude, I think the 90s are calling.
Welcome to Hey Dude, the 90s called. I am Christine Taylor, and I am here with my partner in nostalgia, David Lasher.
Hello,
David.
Christine. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hi, David.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going good.
I feel like I just saw you because Jill and I watched the Emmys on Sunday night, and you and Ben had a lot of glorious screen time.
Was it glorious? Was it glorious screen time? Yes.
You looked so good. I saw the pre-show interview, and you guys were amazing. But then there was this running joke with JB Smooth and this charity, and you were sitting right behind him.
I know. And they said that to us. Like we were sitting, when we sat in our seats, we didn't know who was sitting in front of us yet. And like 2 minutes before the show started, JB and his wife and the two kids, who at first I thought were their kids, when they sat down, it looked like a family coming in. I had no idea. And the producer who was sitting them down and making sure his mic was attached, which that was the red flag number one, like the fact that he was having a mic put on him. Right. We sort of knew something was going to be happening. And the woman turned to us, she goes, "You're going to be on camera a lot because we're going to be cutting back to him a bunch during the show." No. So it became very clear in the first few minutes what the bit was going to be. And, yeah, it was, I've not watched back, but I knew when there was a camera on him that I assumed maybe we might've been in the shot. But we got all dressed up, and Severance was nominated for a lot of Emmys, and it won a lot of Emmys, and it didn't win some Emmys. So there was like lots of excitement and some disappointment. And, you know, I'm biased. I think they were robbed of a couple of awards. I'm going to say it. I'm allowed to say that. I can like other shows and other people, but I still feel like Severance deserved.
Well, Severance is like in a category of its own. I mean, there's
so funny that you said that. Yes,
nothing
a lot
you can
of people
compare.
Yes, I know. It really is. It is its own unique. It's
another world, and yeah, just like the vocabulary and the my innie and like people refer to it.
Yes.
They just created this world that now everybody knows about.
Yes. And I do think, that what was the fun of it, not the losing certain awards, but the fun was how sort of charged and revved up the Severance fans were that when they didn't win certain awards. And it at the end of the day, these award shows are so, you and I were talking before we came on, they're so subjective. And I hate that feeling of you're all there because you're winners. Like you're only in that audience because you are, because you've been recognized and nominated. And that is the win. But then of course you sit in the theater and not everyone's name's going to get called. And that is what sucks, is that I hate for the people whose names don't get called. Right. They suddenly
there's
even start saying we're the losers. Like you're not the losers. Like I've never even been been nominated. No. I've never been invited as a winner, like as a nominee. Like
You've never even been a loser.
Never even been a loser. I've been a guest of winners and losers, but
wasn't Ben so happy for the actress and the actor? I mean, they're so deserved.
Britt Lauer and Tremel Tillman and Merritt Weaver won for Best Guest Actress the weekend before at the Creative Arts Emmys, and they won so many. They won Best Cinematography. I don't have the whole list, but they won 8 Emmys. I mean, it's a success. So
amazing.
But yeah, getting all dolled up, and it's a lot. It's a lot. I started getting ready, I think at like 10:45 in the morning, because you have to like leave by 1:30, and then sit in 2 hours of traffic trying to just get through the security. And so it's you're in heels, sucked
It's
into a
different
dress.
for the women too, right? Like I was with Stephen Graham that morning. We were on the beach in Santa Monica, and he was just like, "Oh shit, I think I got to go meet the limo."
Wait, what were you doing with Stephen Graham? He was a huge winner.
Yeah, no, we have a mutual friend, and we were just having breakfast in Santa Monica. But
that is so cool. Well, Adolescence was phenomenal, and I felt like I loved his speeches every time he got up.
And what about the kid? I know we're going on, but that kid deserved. I mean,
amazing, incredible,
yeah.
incredible. I mean, he was 13 when he made that show.
I know, and it was all one shot, so it was like memorizing an entire episode.
No.
Anyway,
it was phenomenal. But
speaking of kid actors,
incredible segue.
You see what I did? One of the most beloved child characters ever is Winnie Cooper from the Wonder Years, and we have an old friend of mine, Danica McKellar, who has so much to talk about.
I cannot wait to meet her.
Yeah, this is exciting.
Let's bring her in. Yay.
Christine, have we met?
I don't think we've ever met in person. Like, of course I know of you.
Yeah, forever.
I know,
and by the way, I mean, everybody tells you this. Zoolander is like, there's some scenes in that movie. You are so brilliant. It's so fun. I've watched it. I don't even know how many times. My 15-year-old son, and I watch it multiple times. Like, it's just
so awesome.
That bulimia, when you're talking about bulimia, it's like so funny. I mean, I think about that all the time. It's just a great scene. There's just
you can read minds, right?
Yes. Yes. No, what's your problem?
No.
8 days? Try 2 years. Anyway, I have like too much of the movie memorized.
I love it.
Tell you that much joy has been brought to our household by you. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you for coming on. I feel like I need to hear the history of you guys did you guys just meet back in the day?
Oh, me and David?
Yes.
Well, it was a trip. It was one of those trips. They would do these celebrity teen trips where they'd bring celebrity kids on a trip, and then they take pictures, and we have fun, and then they get to print stuff in their magazine. Right?
Right.
And I went on a couple of those. Where was that one? Do you remember, David? Was it Palm Springs or like a place like that?
I don't, but San Diego? I don't remember, but we have to thank our mutual friend, Melissa Joan Hart, for.
Well, I sent her that pic. Okay, so my mom. Okay, so we moved to Tennessee 3.5 years ago. My mom had a house in Los Angeles. She just sold it, and she lives with us full time now. But I was back there in February looking through. She saved everything. And that picture that I sent Melissa when she asked me if I would do this podcast, and then she sent it to you, is one of the pictures I found. So it's just me taking a picture of an actual picture is what that is.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Is this of the three of you?
Hold on.
What?
Riley, can you hold this up to the camera?
Put it up on our podcast?
Yeah, we'll put it up. But this was.
Yes.
Yeah, and I look like a total dork. But yeah, that was a bus ride. I feel like they were taking us probably from a hotel. I think it may have been to San Diego. Anyway,
you look
whatever.
Like babies. Like
literal
babies.
Like literally babies.
I mean,
like
teenagers.
You were in mid Winnie Cooper years for sure.
Yes, for sure. And I think, what years was Hey Dude on?
89, 90, 91.
Yes.
Okay, so that was probably still during that time as well.
Yeah.
In fact, that trip was like around 1990-ish.
You know what, Christine?
91.
It was probably when I left and went to LA for that time. So it was probably right in the middle of Hey Dude and right in the middle of Wonder Years. Oh, you know what? Oh, here's the connection. Okay. When I left Hey Dude, I went to do a show called A Family for Joe, and Ben Savage played my little brother. So
really?
I became friendly with the Savages who would I was there with no family. So they would have me over for dinner and stuff.
Aww.
And so I became friendly with their family. And obviously Fred was with you on Wonder Years.
Yeah. For sure.
Was Wonder Years? I mean, I was looking through because there's so much to talk about. There's so much fun, so many fun things from the 90s. Obviously, we just want to hear the beginning. And was Wonder Years really like the first big thing? Had you done commercials and little bit parts?
Yeah, CBS did a reboot of The Twilight Zone in the mid to late 80s. And so I actually did 2 of those episodes before the Wonder Years. So I did a handful of commercials and 2 of those episodes and then the Wonder Years. And my mom wanted me and my sister, because we were both acting at the time, wanted us to be kids first and like not get wrapped up in the business too much. So we weren't allowed to audition for anything that shot out of town. We weren't allowed to audition for series regulars, for example. And the part of Winnie Cooper was just a guest role on the first episode. That's why I was allowed to audition for it. And that's why I even had a chance to audition for it, because I was a nobody. There are plenty of kid actors who, you know, if it had been a series regular on an ABC series that like would have been way ahead of me. But instead it was just like a couple of scenes and a pilot and as a one-off. And so that's why we accepted it. That's right. We got the job, got to audition, got the job, accepted the job. And then midway through shooting the pilot, the producers approached my mom and said, we really think that Danica and Fred have a special chemistry. We want to change our minds and make her a series regular. And she was like, I don't know. And I was like, oh, please. And so she got me this fancy lawyer that did a loophole, because it's a 7-year contract that you're signing your 12-year-old up for. I get it. It's a big thing. So she made sure that she's like, if you ever want out, just say the word and you don't have to keep doing it. I'm like, okay. But of course I never wanted out. And part of she felt good about was like Joanne Savage and Jane Saviano and Marsha Hervey, who were the other moms on set. And they had a lot more experience than my mom did, because we were all really new to the business. And they were really good parents. Like they pulled their kids after 9.5 hours of work. There was no, can we have an extra 20 minutes? No, the answer was no. My kid is leaving. And like, I don't even know if I would be like that as a stage mom. I'm glad I'm not a stage mom, because I feel like if oh no, they need this shot. Otherwise it's so expensive. Like I would understand the ramifications if they're like, nope, we're pulling them. Right. I got pulled from set in the middle of the scene. I mean, by my mom, and they were, anyway, my mom was like, I think this is a good set. I've heard a lot of nightmare stories, but this seems like a good one. And so that's why I was allowed to do it. And then my sister had auditioned for the part of Winnie Cooper as well, Crystal McKellar. And they loved her. It came down to the 2 of us. But again, at the time, it was just a guest role.
Wait, what is your age difference? What is your
year and a half?
Okay,
she's younger.
So you're so close. Yeah.
We're very close. And they put her, she did like 9 episodes of the show as a role called, was Becky Slater. So she played, she was blonde. Depending on who's watching this, they might remember she's the one who punched out Kevin because he wanted to downgrade from boyfriend or girlfriend to friends. She goes, friends? Punch. I'll give you friends. Punches him again. He goes down.
She's the feisty sister, I guess.
He is the feisty sister. It was good casting.
That's great.
Yeah. Wow. So you guys had to go down.
She's the one who would like defend me in school. Like we went to the same school for a lot of our childhood, and I was very shy and easily bullied. And she kicked this guy in the shins for like being rude to me.
Stop.
She was a
little bruiser. I love it.
What? The younger siblings are always tougher.
Yes.
At least in my household.
Yeah. Are you older or younger?
I'm the oldest, but I have 3 kids, and my youngest can destroy her older siblings.
Yeah.
I mean, verbally and physically.
You'll learn to fend for yourself.
But where do we start with the Wonder Years? So you and your sister had to test against each other. That's interesting.
But it wasn't a test. It was just a regular audition.
It was just a guest star.
A couple scenes. A couple scenes. And it was like not a big deal. I mean, it was a big deal because we were excited to get a job, but it wasn't like, here's your life. But my sister, I mean, Crystal didn't decide to continue acting anyway. And I have. So it's kind of like, all right, it worked out.
It did.
She's super smart. She went to Yale and then Harvard Law School and like, I did my whole math thing, but she's on this other level of, she's now she's working for the government. She like works in defense and it's crazy. Like she had her own venture capital firm. She's a powerhouse. So
isn't it amazing when there's a performer and then there's someone who's the total surgeon or like power, legal powerhouse or two completely opposites.
But I have kind of an opposite thing. And I mean, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar. I've been writing math books for 20 years.
I am familiar because I bought them for my kids when they were in middle school going into, 100%. Because we don't, I know when you go when you put your kids in school and every teacher will say, parents, don't say I was so bad at math, because you're already instilling something into your
I tell
child's
people
brain.
that too.
Yes.
So you did, but no.
Well, of course I did. I made every mistake when it came to my
Right.
kids.
We all make all the mistakes.
But wait, let me just say, Danica, you did graduate with honors from UCLA. You co-authored a theorem, a mathematical physics theorem that's sort of famous, right?
I mean, it's only famous because I was an author on it. And it's like, oh, wow, Winnie Cooper helped to write a math theorem.
Oh, okay.
It's been cited in a few other journals, and it was used for something. It was tangentially related to helping some sort of computer software go a little faster or something. I don't even understand its applications. I understood what I was doing at the time. Math and any kind of research science, at that level of where people are discovering new things, typically, unless it's one of the millennial problems, they are so specialized. Imagine that math is like a tree. And in the trunk, you've got addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. You got fractions and percents and things. And then you get prime number theory and calculus. And at the very edges, these teeny little branches that are so specialized that maybe only 50 to 100 people on the planet even are aware of the vocabulary associated with those things.
Right.
And they don't talk to each other, certainly. There's just so much out there. So I was on one of those little branches.
One of those teeny little tips of the branches. That is so cool.
Yeah.
But I got paid. There are organizations that have stipends for students who want to dedicate their summer to, studying and researching. It's called research. You're trying to prove a new theorem. And so, and when you're female, it's easier to get the money if you've got more intersectionality. And that was even true in the 90s, the late 90s when I was doing it on 98, 99. So it was exciting to be a professional mathematician for the summer and prove something that hadn't been proved. But it's not one of those eureka moments because you know what you're trying to prove. So you create an argument for it. And you're like, okay, I don't see any mistakes. Oh, wait, there's a loophole. That doesn't really account for all the cases. Okay. And then you do it again. And and eventually you're I don't see any loophole. I don't see any it seemed like airtight logic, I think. What do you think? And then peer reviews. Okay, I think it's pretty good. Okay, so we'll send it to the journal. And they have all their people read it. Okay, so I think months and months go by. Nobody found any errors. Okay, so it's going to get published. But it's so far removed from the time that you think you proved it. There's no egads, eureka. There's no
aha. The light bulb goes off.
It was still very satisfying, but it's not quite what movies.
What's so cool to me is that you took a turn in your life that was so unexpected, Winnie Cooper is, a brilliant mathematician. And just were you at UCLA when Mayim was there?
Yes. I was just going to say, I'm not the only one. Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. Then people blossoms of, neuroscientists or physicists, whatever, it's just so impressive to make that type of turn that's so unexpected.
Thank you. I think for me, I needed to figure out who else I was besides Winnie Cooper because it was every day, all day long. People were, it's a blessing to be on a show that's that popular, but it was very limiting as a teenager. When you're 18, the show ended when I was 18 and you're okay, so now I'm going to figure out it's time for the next phase of my life. And everywhere I went, it was, hey, aren't you that girl? Played Winnie, aren't you that girl from TV? Aren't you that girl? And it's constantly you're trying to figure out who you are as a teenager and everyone else is telling you who you are. And it's a thing that doesn't exist anymore. And so, you guys are aware there's all the insecurity that comes from having a lot of success early on. And then you don't have that thing anymore. And you're who am I now? Where do I get my validation? Do you remember that book, Who Moved My Cheese? I wish I'd had that back then. I'm
oh, yeah.
what who am I now? I had a friend in high school who had this long red hair, gorgeous hair, natural, all day long. People would compliment her hair, literally every single day. And she finally, at 18, she cut it off and dyed it black. She's I have to find out
who I am without my hair. Right.
Yes. Right. So I had to figure out who I was. And I went to UCLA and I found that I've always loved a good challenge. And so I decided to take a calculus class, and I'd taken calculus in high school and I'd done well in it. But I didn't think of myself as somebody who would do well at college math. But again, I love a good challenge. And I threw myself into this class and I thought I failed the first midterm. And I got my score back and it was 22 out of 40, which sounds pretty bad. But it was actually some sort of Weider test out of 163 people in the class. And I know this because the professor graphed the scores, not with names, but graphed the scores. There was 122, there were 2 15s, and the rest was 9 and below. I will never forget this. And was
you got the highest score?
All these people in the class. And I thought, you know, your imposter syndrome. You're like, I don't belong here, but all these other people are probably really smart. And I'm like, but I was like, but how? And I didn't understand it. And the next day, I kid you not, somebody tapped me on the shoulder and says, excuse me, aren't you that girl? And understand, everywhere I went at UCLA, it was always who played Winnie Cooper.
Yes.
He goes, aren't you that girl who got the 22?
Okay, stop. That is the greatest. That must have been the greatest feeling in the world.
It was the greatest feeling. It was me chopping off my red hair, getting it dyed black, and somebody saying, you're amazing. And like, I was like, oh, and it was just me. It had nothing to do with the superficiality of Hollywood or all the great writers and the, you know, sound design and like all the things that
and the
make
makeup
a show.
And the lights
and
and
slow motion and all the things they did to make Winnie Cooper. It was like, oh, this is just me and my brain who did this. And I ended up, I was going to be a double major, film and math. I don't know. Anyway, I decided just to be a math major. First I was going to be a film major. Then I was going to do both. And I'm like, you know what? I can always go back and learn filmmaking if I want to. I'm just going to do math. And that's when I ended up, I just fell in love with math. And I thought I might become a professional mathematician, but then I missed the connection with people. I would have lunch with my mom and try to explain to her what I was studying. And there wasn't even a common vocabulary to express the ideas and the things that were going on in my head all the time. And I missed it. And so then I thought, so when I graduated, I went back to acting. And I had a website. I had danicamckellar.com where I gave math advice. Like people would literally send me their math. This is 1998, 99. And I was like, well, I have to stay connected to math somehow. And then a few years later, I started writing math books. My first one, was Math Doesn't Suck. And Christine, this might be the one you got for your kids.
That's definitely it. I mean, I had that on our bookshelf.
Suck.
Yes. That's
Math
the
Doesn't
coolest
Suck for middle
thing.
school math. And this is my 12th book and it's been 20 years. My 12th book comes out this November, and it is.
Did you write a book called Kiss My Math?
I did write a book called Kiss My Math.
Love
That's the
that
second
title.
book. Yes,
This is just
when does this
brilliant.
podcast come out? What day?
Next week. Next week.
Great. So in September only, you can, there's a link in my Instagram. This is my newest book, I Love You 100. It's a counting book full of love. It's for kindergartens. And I'm doing a signing. I'm doing the signing for all the people who order at the Parnassus Books link on my website. Because I'm going to go there like in early October. So if you order it in September and if in the comments section, put the name you want me to sign it to, there's no extra charge. You just have to do it in September at some point. Then you can get a personally signed book and you'll get it in November. And it's a great Christmas present. So that's it. I love you.
That's phenomenal.
So cool.
Yeah. And I'll sign it to whatever name, you want. So
that is incredible.
yeah. I like doing that kind of thing every now and then. It just, people ask me, hey, how can I get a signed book? I'm like, I don't know.
But you figure,
come to Christmas Con in New Jersey and I'll be there. Bring your book and I can sign it there. I mean, there's not that many opportunities. So, and it's this way also I can help to support a local bookstore because, brick and mortar bookstores are disappearing.
Absolutely. I know. And it's so sad because they're so fun to go into and to actually hold books and look at the covers and open the flap and read, it's just, and see the author. I know.
But I don't do that very often.
Yeah.
And if we want them to exist, we have to do that more often.
I still like hard copies. I don't read on a Kindle or my iPad. I still order books and the big package comes.
Do you guys underline things in books that you want to remember? I take notes when I read a book that's meaningful.
Or I'll dog ear. Yeah. Or I'll post-its. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 words for you. Can you guess what they are?
Fall season.
Sweater weather.
Sweater weather. We are in fall. It's September. It is feeling a little bit crisper, a little, the sunsets and it's jacket weather, sweater weather. Our new favorite place for all new seasonal items is Quince. I gotta say, first of all, I talked about this last time, but the cashmere sweaters, the Mongolian cashmere sweaters that are literally at price points like a quarter and a third of what regular cashmere sweaters cost on other websites.
But they feel as good as a $500 piece of cashmere.
Absolutely.
Right?
And literally they start at like $50. So you can get cashmere for under $100 where you can get multiple colors of sweaters and you can get 3 or 4 pieces for the price of one. I have a few things in my cart. I'm going to spring for it today.
Yeah, I've been telling people to check it out because, they have the same quality as the highest brands, but you can afford it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, Quince is where it's at. Keep it classic and cozy this fall with long-lasting staples from Quince. Go to quince.com/heydude for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
That's QUINCE.com/heydude to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/heydude.
But wait, so this is so incredible. I want to just quickly jump backwards because when you said that, and it sounds like your mom, because of the great group of the Wonder Years, I just want to go back to how quickly life changed for you when you did become, you do the pilot.
It didn't. It did.
It didn't.
Okay, what changed was that I was busy.
Yeah.
But I went to school. I went to, at the time I was going to Westlake School for Girls, which became Harvard Westlake while I was there.
Yeah.
And so I was in this very difficult prep school, and the Wonder Years was not a taped show. It was filmed.
Right.
So any day that I wasn't in a scene, and Winnie Cooper wasn't in
right.
There was a lot of family stuff at the house that I wasn't in. I think I only had 1 or 2 scenes ever at the house. So there's a ton of, most days I wasn't actually working. Every now and then there'd be a week where I was working for most of the days of the week. But by and large, I would say on average, I'm sure I went to school 4 days a week. So
right.
3 or 4. And so I would just take my schoolwork with me to set, and a teacher there would help me get through it. And I was always making up tests and making up homework, but it was a juggling act. And so I was very busy doing that.
Yeah.
We never downgraded my education. I still remember I was in the honors math track in high school. And when I got to the 9th grade in geometry, I remember my geometry teacher telling me, you might want to downgrade into regular math because you're not going to be able to handle this math class. And when somebody says that, if you're going a lot, that lights a fire.
How dare you?
Oh yeah.
You're just
exactly
an actress. You shouldn't be in this class.
Right. Yeah. Well, he was like, oh, well, you'd have to be here to get this material. It's very difficult. And I just remember being like, well, let's see about that.
Yes. You
let's
just
see. I'm very
set
polite.
a challenge.
I probably nodded and I get very stubborn about that kind of thing. Like, well, no, I'm going to make this all happen.
Did you realize, listen, the Wonder Years was such a special show just from the opening credits, that Joe Cocker cover of, the Beatles song, to Daniel Stern's narration, to showing us life in the 60s. It was like a time capsule, and it was just so incredibly written. That show was just resonated so much. Did you realize how the quality of that show that you were on?
I knew it was a quality show, but I didn't know compared to others. Everybody seemed to have a lot of respect for each other on set, and I knew the writing was good, but I didn't watch a lot of TV, so I didn't have a lot to compare it to. And I also did not really understand what the show meant culturally until years later, till well after I was out of college, because I wouldn't go to Hollywood parties, and I didn't have a Hollywood legacy in my family. So in
the scene. You weren't in that world. That wasn't your world.
Not even a little bit. I went straight from that to UCLA, where I took all my makeup off and I would wear a backpack and a t-shirt and throw my hair in a ponytail. I was like, I was so uninterested it just ended up feeling like false or something. So I had to get away from it. I had to find out who else I was. Yeah. And so I was completely divorced from all that. And I knew that people recognized me on campus all the time. So I knew that it was popular, but I remember actually, I guess it was in the last year of the Wonder Years, somebody referred to me on set as America's sweetheart. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And it was really I didn't realize that I was sort of a virtual girlfriend or something for a lot of
you were the first crush, right?
Everybody's first crush. Yeah. Yes.
Right. Which is bizarre. It's
in those formative years for boys, for growing up, right? Going through those periods of time in their lives. Did you find that when you went back to school on those days when the show started airing and getting, the success and the attention did you have trouble with other students? Were kids jealous? Were people mean?
There was one group of girls who I overheard saying she thinks she's so great or something. But that once. It happened once.
Right.
And it was all Westwick was all girls at that point still. And so I don't know. And it was private, and it was challenging prep school. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I was sheltered from that. If I'd been going to public school, I'm sure it would have been more difficult.
Right.
But I was there and I was gone. I was there and I was gone. I was
right. And it sounds like you were a really good focused student. Like you did care about your academics. It wasn't like you said, okay, now I'm on a TV show, I can blow this off. Like many of us probably would have.
And I thank my parents for that, especially my mom, because she always, it was in order, health, family, education, and then everything else. So it didn't even occur to me that I wasn't going to go to college. And I just always knew that I was going to be challenging myself and I didn't know what I was going to do with my life, although I wanted to still act, but I didn't know. But I also just knew there was more. And I just, again, always knew I'd go to college and I enjoyed school. Like I liked
That is the best way. That is the best way to be in the entertainment industry as a child, to know that it's just a small part of your life, something you're trying, but that there's a much bigger picture. It sounds like your parents really instilled that.
Yeah. And then for advice that I give to anybody who wants to act, whatever their age is, truly, I say, that's great. Have something else that you also love, that you also can make money at. Because the business, as you guys both know, is fickle, and it's feast and famine, and you don't know. You don't have control over your own.
It's very subjective. You know, it is there's nothing concrete about what is good or what isn't. You know what I mean? It is sort of like people luck into things, and some of the greatest talents just don't stick it out because of the rejection. We don't know, right? Because so many people like just make a choice to do something else. So you're absolutely right. That's great advice.
Have something else. And for me, and even just to keep you sane. Yes. I remember Emily Proctor on The West Wing. Because I did West Wing for about most of the season. And Emily Proctor, do you know her?
No, but I don't know her personally, but I wanted to ask about your West Wing arc too.
Oh, yeah. I remember her telling me I don't know if she still does it now, but she would flip houses. She'd buy a house. She loved buying a house, renovating it, and selling it. And she did that throughout, and she could do it on her own timeline, right? So she would buy a house, and then as she could, she'd renovate it, and then she'd sell it. And she loved doing it, and she made good money at it, and it kept her sane. And it keeps me, and she was working regularly. Yeah. The math books have kept me sane for the last 20 years because it's something that I can do something about. Like I can actually write a book and then have it published and then help kids with math and then make some money from that. And like, it's a thing that I can do that's not like the business.
You're in control of it. You're in control of the hours you put into it, when you make the decision.
Well, and the input and output have something to do with each other. Mm-hmm. As opposed to acting, where sometimes it seems like you put all this time and energy into studying the craft and trying to audition, all this stuff, and the output doesn't reflect the input. You feel like you need luck too often to make things happen. So again, having something else that you do will keep you sane, even if you are working consistently. And I have to give a shout out to Bill Abbott, who ran a Hallmark channel for 20 years and now started Great American Family Channel, because of him, first on Hallmark and now Great American, I've had steady work for like 10 years, which is like, I know how rare that is. I do a couple movies every year, and there's as much, I guess, stability as you can have, because you never really know what's going to happen, but it's so exciting. And now I'm getting to write the movies, at least be a writer on them. I did that for last year's Cinderella Christmas Ball. I also love ballroom dancing, so I get to put my dancing in these movies. And at Great American Family, there's just a lot. It's a smaller network, and so I get to have a bigger role in the movies.
Do you work with Candace? Candace was on here talking.
I mean, we haven't ever worked on a movie together, but we're around each other a lot. She's an executive of the network too. Right. It's been great, and she and I have basically grown up together. I mean, we knew each other back in the Wonder Years and Full House days too.
And Camp Cucamonga.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
I didn't know you knew about Camp Cucamonga. That's hilarious.
We've got really stealthy researchers on this podcast. You don't have to look far to find Camp Cucamonga because of the cast. There's so many young, the up and comers in the 90s. Not to mention Jennifer Aniston. Brian Robbins, David was when he was still acting, but then how was
John
that?
Metzenberger was in it, and
right.
Breckin Meyer.
Yep.
Was that during one of your hiatuses on the Wonder Years?
It was over the summer of 1990, I believe. Yeah. And I remember that was actually the first time that I had done something over the summer. And because my mom mostly didn't want us doing anything over the summer. Like when the Wonder Years, because the Wonder Years took up a lot of time, we didn't audition for anything else. And but then as I got older, she allowed it because that was just an offer that came in. And I was like, oh, this is like fun. I want to do it. And it worked out with our vacation schedule or whatever. So I was able to do it. It was very silly, campy movie.
No pun intended.
But I remember, so it was the first one that I'd ever done where I didn't have to be in school at the same time because the Wonder Years shot on that regular schedule that used to exist in the series world that doesn't anymore. And so we didn't shoot over the summer. And not having to run back and forth between set and schoolwork was the weirdest feeling. I go back to my trailer and I'm like,
what do I do?
I can just relax. This is weird. So I like play, my music, Billy Joel, or put my cassette tape into the player.
The cassettes.
Work out to music.
Your Walkman, your
the
Sony
yellow Walkman,
right?
Right. Yes. No, the trailer had a cassette player on it. You could just put it in there on the wall. Very fancy.
I feel like those trailers before they updated them for a long time still probably even 10 years ago, 15 years ago, still had those like stereo systems because they just hadn't been upgraded.
They were just built in. Great. Maybe nobody will notice.
Right. Exactly.
So you lived in LA and what made you move to Nashville?
We don't live in Nashville, just sort of Tennessee-ish. Tennessee, Nashville-ish. We wanted more nature. Nashville itself is very it's a city, but we wanted more nature. We wanted to be surrounded by green and there's a lot of reasons. Draco's my son, had moved to Florida. And so Draco was going back and forth between LA and Florida. We didn't want to live in Florida. My husband's son was graduating from high school, and we wanted to get out of Los Angeles and get out of the whole, I don't know, California and Los Angeles didn't feel like it used to us. And I wanted to be closer to Draco so he didn't have to be flying so far. And so I liked Tennessee, or I always liked Dallas for some reason. I don't know what it is about that city. It doesn't even have any green in it. I just have always liked it there. I've always just felt sort of happy there. And he was like, well, Tennessee or Montana. I'm like, okay, we both like Tennessee. So we came to Tennessee and loved it and found this great house. And we just were ready for a change. I'd lived in Los Angeles for
your whole
40
life.
years.
Yeah, your whole life.
Yeah.
We always think about when my youngest is done with high school, like where would we go? My son's in Austin at UT, which is a great city. But I have a lot of friends that moved, Melissa has been in Tennessee for a long time. My good friend Doug Ellen just all of a sudden just up and moved to Nashville. I mean, a lot of people from LA.
Yeah, Jason Priestley is
Jason's there. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people have moved out here. It's because we also learned during COVID, you didn't really have to be in any particular place for a lot jobs. Like my husband's a lawyer and his office is still in Los Angeles. He flies back a couple days out of the month and that's it. Because he was working from home for 2 years. And
I was in Park City last week. I had dinner with Scott Wolf, who's raising his 3 kids there, and he flies to Toronto to do his. Because why not? Right. And I was like, oh my God, you live here? Why don't I live here?
Right. Yeah. You start realizing,
not my life.
I'm a grown up. I can
it takes that courage to just say, oh, wait, I don't have to live in LA.
Right.
But
it's you make the decisions a lot of times based on your children and where they are. Yeah. We moved out of LA when our kids were really young, and that was a deliberate choice because we sort of felt like the older they get, the more we're not going to want to pull them from their friends. It was still challenging when they were 8 and 5 to do it. But it was the right decision for our family. And I think, David, for you, when Chelsea graduates, you guys can, reevaluate and see where everybody is.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Nobody meets in person in the entertainment business. It's so weird. Like every other business is back in the office, but all my meetings, whether it's writing or producing or even reading for stuff, is all on Zoom or video.
Right.
Yeah, that really was a casualty of COVID that never came back.
It never came back here. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's convenient if you want to live somewhere else.
It is convenient.
That is.
Wait,
yeah.
so I want to hear how graduating UCLA and where did the West Wing fall when you did that? Were you finished with the Wonder Years?
I was finished with the Wonder Years. I was finished with UCLA.
Oh, okay. So that was right out. That was an end of the 90, like 99 or 2000. When was that?
West Wing, 2002,
Okay.
2006, 2003. That season.
Got
season
it.
4. Yeah, it was season 4 of the West Wing.
And had you done any, I want to hear first of all, let's just hear from you because we've had other people on the show who have done Aaron Sorkin work. How was that doing a show where you have to be word perfect, line for line, dialed in? Did you love that?
Yeah. I loved it.
Yes, you
Because
did.
there's a certain rhythm to his dialogue.
Right.
It's, it's kind of music to it and it works. Like, you say it out loud and it feels good to say. And so you want to say it just like that.
Right.
But it was the challenge for me was like how active we were. We were going up and down stairs and then and saying these lines. And yeah. And what was most impressive to me is the cameraman, the Steadicam guy, he could run up and down stairs backwards while capturing us in frame and somehow not running into anything. He had helpers around him, but I remember it was hard not to be distracted as you're rushing up and down stairs saying these lines. You're like, is this guy okay? Is he gonna fall? I had to just simply pretend he's not here because for real, because I wasn't a mom yet. Like my mother, my nurturing, protective instincts, oh my gosh, this person's going to fall backwards and have a concussion. Because, and I don't know how he didn't trip or there's cords, there's cords connected.
Yes.
You're
you're
people
right.
around him, the support team, all running up and down stairs. And you're saying your lines and you're trying to stay in your moment. And it was really fun. And I remember Martin Sheen never remembered my name, but he was very open about it. He's like, I don't remember your name. Welcome back. What is your name again? I'm like, I'm Danica McKellar, Sarah. Well, good to have you. And then the next week, welcome back. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name every time.
I love didn't even fake it. That's so great.
He didn't. That was nice. He didn't avoid me because he was embarrassed that he didn't remember. He was just himself. And as we get older, I feel like I'm starting to understand that a little bit more. So you start not worrying so much about what people think of you. There's just something that you get to start letting go of, and you get to just be like, what am I so afraid of? I should live my life and having, and I, that's the kind of thing I think about. Maybe someday I'll be comfortable enough to do that. Cause I'm not yet, but I feel like maybe it's coming because I'm not very good with names. I'm just not.
I totally agree. There's a few tenets I live by. If you're being honest and you're being kind, there's nothing to apologize for. If I don't remember your name, but I'm telling you honestly and kindly, there's nothing to apologize for,
And also it's okay to apologize. This is not announce shame. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but whatever it is. You could acknowledge it without having to take it on.
Yes,
I'm
right.
sorry.
Where it's a thing where I'm cringing. Right.
Right. Yeah. It's just this thing about owning, your life.
I feel like Martin Sheen became the president for those years. I
know. This is idealized version of what government probably could never be.
It really was
romantic. Politics. Let's not.
But
yes, it was a lovely fantasy show.
And the cast, Allison Janney and
oh my gosh.
Brad Whitford.
She's the best. So Allison Janney, I learned a lot from her because in the hair and makeup trailer, she would just say her lines. She was just saying her lines under her breath, the whole time. And she was just staying focused on it. So people were doing stuff and she would just, and I do that now. I feel like I want to be like Allison Janney. And so when I'm doing these movies, Great American, because, we shoot them in 3 weeks. This is a lot of dialogue every day. Not quite soap opera level, but still it's a lot. And so and there's not a lot of time to get it. So you need to be like that. You have to know your stuff completely. And so, yes, you study ahead of time, but then that morning for that hour and a half, 2 hours, just saying under my breath and not being worried that that's going to bug anyone or be weird or on his socials. No, I had respect for her because she was doing her job. I'm like, oh, good. Okay. So that's what that looks like. Okay. So I don't have to avoid that or try to just be social and fun because I feel like I should be. No, I'm here to do a job.
Right.
And it's not rude at all. It's something that people look at and say, oh, cool. she's not going to cause delays on set because she doesn't earn lines. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's going to help the day move forward. So everybody's totally fine with it.
I saw
anyway. That's
an interview with her that was circulating, I think, very recently. I think it was a recent interview, like one of those roundtable actors with actors. And she was talking about her process of memorizing his dialogue.
Really?
I have my technique that I've heard other people have as well, where you write down the first letter of each word. Just the letter, and if it's it's I apostrophe, and you do all the punctuation in there, and you start looking at this series of hieroglyphics, and it there's something about it that connects to, you don't put in, it helps you memorize it word for word. When coming from Aaron Sorkin and I had to have it word perfect. So someone shared that with me. She learns Shakespeare that way, so I started doing it, and it really helped.
It was so fascinating to hear her because she's so brilliant on the show that you never even think that she had to memorize those lines because she was just CJ saying those words, right?
Yeah.
Like that is somebody who has really done the work, like you just talked about, like not socializing in hair and makeup and not like whatever that technique was. So I want to dig deeper to see more of that interview, but I thought that was really
that's interesting. And I have heard that technique. I've never tried that. The one letter.
Yeah.
There's the Christmas movie that I'm about to shoot. There's this one scene where it's basically just me talking like for 2 pages almost. So I was just thinking maybe I'll, I mean, does that help? I'm like, if it's like a long code, does
that make it harder?
I'm gonna try it because maybe it's like, because I think other people might say like a word or two here and there. So like in chunks,
in blocks,
we'll be like, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. That's that one. And then, so that's, like, I wonder if that's going to help. I hope our audience is finding this interesting.
I know. Exactly.
No,
I am going to bring it back.
Got to memorize lines.
No, your mathematics and education, how it might help your acting work I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, see, this is us encouraging our young actors who are listening and the audience.
If you want to be in the arts,
stay with math. Stick with math.
Math is
doesn't
important.
suck.
Right. Math doesn't suck, and you can kiss my math if you think otherwise.
Kiss my math. So, Danica, tell us about I love it so much. Look at you. How did you transition? What was did it just start as one Christmas movie? Did it just start as like a one-off where you just got asked to do one of these for fun?
So I did Dancing with the Stars in 2014.
Okay.
Actually, so my first Christmas movie was actually 2013 or 2012 for Lifetime. It was called Love at the Christmas Table. It was with Dustin Milligan and Leah Thompson. And it was adorable little movie. We shot it mostly in one house. It was like a low budget, but adorable. Like people love this movie. I still get people text me about it.
Is that a Hallmark? Is that a Hallmark one?
It was Lifetime.
That was Lifetime. Okay, sorry. I missed that.
Movie was actually Lifetime.
That's so funny.
And then I did Dancing with the Stars in 2014. And it was after that season that Hallmark called. And I remember Michelle Vickery over there, who was head of programming, said, she's like, why didn't we think of this sooner? Because on Hallmark and Now Great American, they like to use actors who were child stars because especially with Christmas movies, there's a certain kind of nostalgia that's baked into the actor's face already, so that it just brings that warm and fuzzy Christmassy feeling more.
Like we know this person. We already know.
Right.
We feel safe.
Familiar.
We feel safe and familiar.
It feels like family. It feels like I grew up with them. And and then Bill Abbott, I had a meeting with Bill Abbott, who was the head of the network at the time. And he was like, we would like you to do more movies with us. We really like what you did in this one. And we want to, continue. And then when he moved from Hallmark to Great American, he asked me if I would come along. And it's funny because people were like, oh, why aren't you, loyal to Hallmark? It's like, well, I'm loyal to a person, not to a brand. I really credit Bill Abbott with reviving my career and giving me this whole other identity as like this Christmas movie.
Christmas queen.
Christmas queen.
One of many.
Right.
And I'm so grateful for it. So, and now, like I said, at Great American Family, I get all this extra freedom to be more involved creatively from the very beginning. In fact, I've got a pitch meeting this Friday for some movies for 2026 that they created. And it's just very creatively satisfying. And I'm just super, super grateful. So the transition happened 10 years ago, to answer your question, and I love it. So between that and my math books, and raising a child. It's a very full life that I'm just so grateful for.
A teenage boy, no less.
Teenage boy. Oh my gosh. He's about to get his permit. He's about to get his permit. Okay.
Oh.
How do you sit in a car? How do you sit in a car with somebody who doesn't know how to drive? And then
Teach them?
like all these other cars out there.
Danica, I'm in the same exact place. My daughter just turned 16 on
Like, there's an
Sunday.
older one in college?
Yeah, I've been through it with 2 others, but
Yeah. Okay. So how does that go?
the first time you bring them on the highway is literally terrifying because
the freeway, like
the freeway. Yeah. They don't know.
merging.
You got to get up to 65 like right now and look really quick because the lanes are merging.
Yeah, but don't like move the wheel as you look and like.
It's like jumping off a cliff when you do that. But someone has to
how many
teach them.
parents have died? I just like, how does this
I
work?
honestly, I'm like raising my hands up in defeat because Ben taught our daughter how to drive. And it was their bonding experience. And I just know my relationship with her, like our dynamic would not have worked with me trying to teach her how to drive. Like something about, there's something, I think I'm much more nervous. I would have been much more angsty, and Ben has a calming presence in tense situations. Like there's just something that it was just the fit, and he offered, and they played Taylor Swift in the car, and she would tell him stories about every song Taylor wrote. It was, like those albums.
Like any distractions at all? Like
no, but it was like
music. We're not
calming for her.
Just look at the road.
I know, but it was like
It
relaxing.
put her in the zone.
And they did a lot of back road driving. But I remember him saying that we did the West Side Highway. Like today, we actually went on the West Side Highway, and she went on the Sawmill and did this. And like, so I take zero credit, and she's been driving for, she got her license late though. She got it when she was 20 because she's a New York City kid. My son, who just turned 20, still doesn't even have a permit, has no interest.
Okay. So you're not sitting there with a skinny teenager who's like a little different. I mean, he's tall. He's tall. He's 5'9", but like he's like
when your child starts driving, it is a new level of fear
Stress?
as a parent. For me, it's not even their skills as a driver. It's the other people in the city of Los Angeles that I feel like I almost get in an accident almost every day for someone flying through the yellow light or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's you really have to be so laser focused. And I think when they're learning
all times.
But here's the thing. So I do my next Great American Family movie in October, and Draco doesn't quite have his permit yet. So I'm thinking his dad will have a month, and I think they should drive a lot in that month. And then when he gets back, he'll have some experience.
Yes.
I mean, even then, I know I'm still going to be super stressed out, but I'm like, okay, so go ahead and get your permit. So this is good. Let's like move this along. So you should have really a lot of practice in October before it gets colder,
Yes. Yes.
Any excuse. So last year was my first Great American Family movie in America. We shot it in Kentucky. It's called Grounded in Love, and it's on PureFlix now, but it has its Great American Family premiere on September 27th. I want to make sure to mention that.
Perfect.
I know this podcast is going to come out right before then.
Yes.
So it's called Grounded in Love. It's with Trevor Donovan, who was on 90210. And I play a flight attendant who has been furloughed, and I go to spend a month with my grandmother, only to find that Trevor Donovan, who was like my sort of high school crush, has moved back home, and he is at the farm next door. And so it's like a really fun rom-com, but there's also a faith
rekindled,
rekindled, but and I have no plans to actually stay there. I'm like leaving, but then when I'm there, and my grandmother and I have a really fun relationship. She's feisty, and so like she comes after me with a rolling pin, thinking that I'm somebody breaking in, and then she keeps her money safe in a coffee jar in the fridge, like, and behind the television, and like it's just a really, but she's also grounded in faith, and so she helps me to reconnect with God, and it's a great movie. It goes a lot of places. It's called Grounded in Love. And again, it's on PureFlix now, streaming anytime, or Great American Family, Saturday, September 27th at, I think it's 8:00, but I'm not sure.
And there's a romance.
But if you
right around the corner. Sure. Grounded in Love, David, come on.
Grounded in love.
Grounded in love.
It's a tried and true
Right.
It's a
formula.
romance.
Girl comes home.
It's great. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But if you go follow me on Instagram, you will know what time it is airing. I think it's 8:00. It might be 9:00. Just follow me, and believe me, I will be. And then I can't tell you anything about my Christmas movie yet, like any details, except that I am the writer on it. I had someone helping me too, but it was like I feel like a lot of ownership over this, and it's a lot of fun to have like helped to create it, like breathe it into existence, and it'll come out in December at some point. But by the time this podcast comes out, we may have announced it. So again, my Instagram.
Exciting. So there's some around the corner things, which is wonderful.
Indeed.
Yes. Well,
This is a
so many
movie
great
every
things.
year. Every year you do a movie for them.
Usually 2. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're fast and furious. We shoot them in 3 weeks. But it's great. It's again, super grateful. Like I know that from having struggled in my 20s after the West Wing, I did stuff, as you know, it's ups and downs, but there's some dry spells that just make me so grateful for this. And I tell Bill all the time, I tell anybody who'll listen how grateful I am. And it's such a joy.
And yeah, the fact that, starting out in your, your pre-tween years, right? So like when you first started doing commercials and guest spots and stuff, how old were you?
I was 10.
10.
Well, on stage, I guess I was on stage doing little things age of 7 or 8, maybe 8, something like that. But yeah,
and now
career,
here
I
you
guess my
are.
career spans 5 decades.
I was going to say decades later. And, you just look as youthful and beautiful as ever. And and just to hear the gratitude, it's always it just warms my heart because I feel like so many kids burn out and you said it from the get-go, like having a family who show business didn't even fall in the top 5, right? It was like not even in the top 4 of that thing, which is of the priorities in your family. And that was just the miscellaneous. That's just the extra. That's just the icing. But these are, to have that and to be so grounded in it and to sustain. And I think that's probably why you were able to sustain and stick around
and having something else.
And yes, to keep
to identify with. So I'm like, I am a mathematician, I am a math author, like having that so that when business is fickle and absent or whatever, I don't have to fall into despair or just so much insecurity and just be like, well, I'm staying busy. That's it. I'm staying busy and I'm staying afloat. And I'd
call it balance. I've been thinking about that a lot lately, finding balance in your life. And it feels like you have, family and purpose and creativity and faith. And like, I love to see the balance you found in your life.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's awesome.
It's wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us about everything. It was amazing to meet you finally. That photo, we'll put up a photo, a better version of it is. Oh, it's so good.
No, you were so cute. And you look amazing. It's so good to see you and catch up with you.
Yeah, you too.
Yes,
too.
And good luck with the permit. We'll want to report back. We want to hear back in a couple of months. We will.
Yes,
we're going to double fingers crossed.
Pray for safety and peace.
Thank you. Yes, I'll take it.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Danica.
Okay.
That was fun.
I cannot get over her story. I have to say I really did buy one of those math books when my kid,
that's so funny.
And we didn't even get that far, but I've joked about it before, just that, we have in our family that side of the brain was not the one that was as fired up as the
you're more of the creative family.
I'm not going to say we were bad at math because Danica said you're not supposed to say that. And so, but her book lived on this bookshelf that, of course, I got for Quinn, my son. And of course, it sort of stayed on the bookshelf.
What is the mission of the books? Is to get kids excited about math?
Well, yes, it to make sort of math and learning more fun, to sort of have you not so much like memorize things, but wrap your brain around things in a way that makes it more, so that it just makes sense, in your brain.
Like
it's just, she does such an amazing job. And that story of her scoring that 22 out of 40 and being the highest test score, and how that gave her new meaning and like new identity in her life. Like, oh my God, I'm good
she
at this.
learned
And I
that
did
she
this.
was actually talented at math in that moment, right?
Nobody else. She sat and took a test by herself. No show, no
incredible.
network, no, so I thought listening to her talk about that was just fascinating. And
that need to find another identity, like that Winnie Cooper character. I mean, we've all been, like your Marsha Brady character. We've all had things where like, okay, we're kind of attached to it, but like, my God, Winnie Cooper was, I don't know, everybody knew her as that. Everybody. So for her to be like, I need to find a new identity. This cannot give me who I am for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Was so inspiring and so important.
It's great. It was so great. Thank you for having her on, David. That was awesome.
Yeah, I'll put when she sent me that photo, I was like, oh my God, we were like babies. But we'll put that on our Instagram. But yeah, thank you for listening, everybody. You can follow us at Hey Dude, the 90s Called. You can please subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube, and please share these episodes with anyone you think might enjoy them. And we will see you next week.
Bye.